Alright, what's up gang? Today we're going to be talking about this video that I saw today. It's called Is Being Fat a Choice? It's by this channel called Jubilee. They do all the button videos. I know you've seen at least one out-of-pocket video from them. And I'm just going to be reacting to this, talking about it, because it's a really interesting interview. They sit down about like 5 fat people, 5 skinny people or something, and they just ask them simple questions and then they have a conversation about it. But before we react to this, I feel like it's important for me to give my point of view on this before, you know, I start talking to this and reacting to what they're saying. I think that every single decision, every single thing that you do in your life is either directly your choice or a product of a choice that you made. You know, I chose to be recording this video right now, and you chose to click on it. You chose to put on that outfit that you wore today, you know, in the morning. Everything you do is a choice. Whether it's the right choice to make or the wrong choice to make, every single thing is a choice. However, with being fat, I feel like it only becomes a choice once you can comprehend that you are fat. Once you start to at least know that you're fat, you have now made the choice either to stay fat or to not stay fat. And the reason I say this is because a lot of people in their childhoods, like, I don't think it's a fat kid's fault that they're fat. And I define being a kid as like maybe under the age of like 12 or something like that. And I think that because, you know, your parents are the people who are feeding you. Everything you eat, your parents are feeding you. Yeah, you could still make the choice to eat something better, but it's unreasonable that at that age you would comprehend that. Once you are old enough to comprehend that you are fatter than other people, that's whenever now being fat becomes a choice. And what you do with that is your choice. That's my point of view on it. I do think that being fat is a choice. At the end of the day, after every blood problem, after every health condition you have, being fat is still a choice, even if it's a harder choice for you to make because of certain conditions around you.
Being fat or skinny is a choice. Agreeers?
I really like that you can already tell the belief in the mentality that this fat guy has. I don't know his name, but you can tell he at least can own up to the decisions that he makes in his life and can understand that he's fat. And I really like, you can fully tell, you know, by his body language, everything, by just the way he looks in general. You can tell he knows he probably doesn't love to be fat, but at least he can own up to it and know that it's his choice, which is something that I cannot say for Lizzo, unfortunately.
Of course, not every factor is purely choice. I don't think that every factor is, but I do think a majority of it is. And in most cases, for most people, being skinny or being fat is about willpower. It's about the environment you grow up in, sure, but who you choose to associate with, what sort of things you choose to listen to, who you choose to kind of have as your friends around you and support you. All of those things are choices that you can make that will lead you closer towards being one or the other.
100%, and I think what he says 100% goes for both ways. If you live in a family that's very much keen on you eating every last bite on your plate and you not wasting a crumb, you're probably going to more likely be a little bit fatter. If you live in a family where you guys don't have a lot of money and you guys aren't sure if you're going to be able to even eat that day, you're probably going to be skinnier. And I like that he can understand this despite him obviously being fat. I just love that you have that kind of guy in this video, because he's basically gonna be like the moral compass of this, and it makes the entire argument more interesting.
As a disabled woman, I can't do a lot of the things that people say, calories in, calories out, oh, you gotta go work out and exert it. A lot of the things that are typical, oh, this is how you lose weight, put me in the hospital. I have to navigate weight differently. I have to look at it differently. My weight is the way it is because of medication, because doctors put me in this position, and I had to learn, okay, am I going to be so hateful of my own body that I am going to backlash and put myself through extreme gym nights, through keeping myself from eating things that I should be able to eat. You should be able to have a balance. You should be able to go into the junk food aisle like other skinny people do, and still not have to worry about gaining 20 pounds.
But I don't think skinny people go into this junk food aisle.
They
I think
certainly do.
Yes, they do.
I eat a lot of junk food.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, my DoorDash would tell you otherwise.
I think that this girl has a complete misunderstanding of how weight loss and weight gain works. The fact that she said the way that, you know, having to like hurt herself or something by late nights in the gym and starving herself, I think that just goes to show you that she doesn't have the concept of how you lose weight. For reference, whenever I lost weight, I've told this story every single video I've ever made in my life. I lost 40 pounds in the beginning of January, and the way I did it was by running a half mile every day and eating a 400 calorie deficit, which means I eat 400 less calories than my body burns every day. I could still eat whatever I wanted. Weight isn't defined by you eating healthy shit. At the bare minimum, the most basic of the basic, weight is calories in, calories out. However you get those calories, it doesn't matter. It's still only about how many calories you get. You could lose weight by starving yourself, but you'll notice how every single guy who knows what they're talking about doesn't tell you to starve themselves. It's always people with a complete misunderstanding of how weight loss works. If you guys don't know, if you starve yourself and then go back to eating food like normal, your body's going to retain that food more because now it's getting used to it doesn't know when to expect food, so it feels like it needs it. That just goes to show you don't know what you're talking about. And yes, the problems with medication may be real. Some medications require you to eat a certain number of calories before you consume it to be able to, you know, not die whenever you eat that medicine. But that doesn't mean that you still can't eat healthy and eat in a caloric deficit. You don't have to go to the gym to lose weight. There's plenty of videos I've seen on the internet of people losing X amount of pounds and they never went to a gym, because all it is calories in, calories out, and working out just helps you lose that weight. It doesn't matter. You could still lose weight. Despite every single thing, you know, every barrier getting in your way, it is still your decision to lose weight. However, at the end of the clip, whenever that skinny girl talked about skinny people don't go to the junk food aisle, I thought that was pretty funny because that was just a stupid comment to make. I'm skinny. I ate a burger today. That's junk food. I mean, like skinny people, I feel like eat a lot of fast food, and not necessarily more or less than fat people, but that's just a really stupid comment to make. They obviously eat junk food.
It's important to note that a choice can be harder for people to make due to conditions in their life, but at the end of the day, it's still a choice. I could say that I had food addiction. I looked to food when I was stressed and this and that and this, and so it's harder for me to choose it than for someone who has like the perfect lifestyle, someone who has parents who are giving them this and that and this. But I definitely still acknowledge that it was my choice. At the end of the day, when I go there and I look and I see, should I order a second hamburger? I'm the one choosing whether or not I order that second hamburger. I'm the one making that choice.
Yeah, I don't really have much to commentate on that. I just wanted to include that clip because that guy said it absolutely perfectly, and I literally couldn't agree with him more.
I would rather be skinny than fat. Can the agreeers please step forward?
I mean, I can't really scientifically prove what I'm about to say, but I feel like the fat people are lying to themselves, and I feel like that's kind of obvious. There is nobody on this planet that truly, deep down to their core, would rather be fat than skinny. If they do think that, it's because they've never been skinny, or they just don't understand how much they're struggling because of being fat. Whenever I was fat, never thought anything was wrong. I thought I wasn't that fat. I came up with all these excuses in my mind to sugarcoat it, and it made me feel like I was in okay shape. I was this, I was that. I went to run a mile and couldn't do it in 13 minutes, and that gave me the fucking reality check I needed. There's no world where you would truly rather be fat than be skinny. And I don't even like saying that because being skinny isn't a thing. I mean, I think they're referring to being skinny as like being in shape, but fat people can be in shape, and you know, normal people can be in shape. So whenever I say skinny, I'm referring to more of an average weight, I'd say. But there is truly no way that you would rather have all of the problems, all of the suffering, the pain of being fat. I know what it's like, I'm not speaking out of my ass, than rather be able to be healthy and not have to worry about stuff, and not like there's so many benefits of being skinny or just being in shape in general.
I'm speaking as someone who actually was a former smaller person, And I had the most body insecurities when I was small. I was constantly living in fear of gaining weight and having people tell me, oh, don't gain weight, don't do this, make sure that your weight is the same.
And maybe those people weren't the right people to look out to, because those people don't understand what you're going through. I understand what it's like to not be happy with your weight. You don't have to want to be skinny. Like, you can be big and still, be in shape and be healthy and be muscular. But there's nothing healthy about being a fat ass who has no muscle on their body, who eats nothing but junk food, and you can't deny that. You just can't. That's something you learn in kindergarten. The reason you had insecurities about being skinny is, again, because you don't understand what it actually takes to be skinny. It doesn't take you starving yourself and working 20 hours a day in a gym to be skinny. It takes you just having a basic understanding of food and how calories work for you to be able to be skinny. Yes, your body may have a higher or lower metabolism. My body has, I think, an incredibly high metabolism, meaning my body holds on to food really hard. If I eat bad one day, my body's going to punish me for it. But that doesn't mean I'm insecure about being half a pound heavier that day. If that's truly how you are, then that's not a being skinny or being fat problem. That's like a body dysmorphia disorder that you have, because normal people, skinny or fat, don't suffer from that. And you can't just blame that on being fat or being skinny. If you truly understood being skinny, then you would know that eating 100 extra calories here or eating a burger there is not going to be the life or death.
There is such a gap between, one, the research, because the research has a huge fat-phobic bias in it, and there has been research that shows that they aren't, even especially during, let's say, COVID and the correlation between obesity. They rushed through those studies so fast because in society's mind, oh, of course a fat person is going to equal someone who's going to get sick faster, is going to get sick easier. It was an easy jump.
I don't know what studies you're referring to, okay? They don't sound like the best studies in the world, but can you argue that what they said was wrong? I don't think you can, because you know at the end of the day, no matter how much you want to bury it under this facade that you've built up in your brain, that fat people are more prone to having underlying health problems, and whenever they get sick, it can affect them a lot more. That's just how being fat works, because it's not good for your body. And then being sick on top of that just multiplies it. It just magnifies it, and it makes it way worse. Those studies I wouldn't look to. Those studies aren't studies that I would look to actually get information, but just because they're not scientific doesn't mean it's wrong. But that's really all I have to say about this video. This actual video that I'm reacting to is about 3 times longer than this, so if you guys want to see like a part 2 on this, then let me know down in the comments below. But this video is already getting long enough, so thank you guys for watching this all the way through if you did. And if you did, you obviously liked it enough, so you should go watch some of my other videos. But whether you do or not, I don't care. Bye.